Welcome students, I am Ravi Shankar. So today in this video we are going to continue the problems that we have left out in our last video. So in our last video we have completed up to problem number 9, and in this let us go for the problem number 10. So what is that problem number 10? I will be reading the problem. You take your book and just follow. A point charge of plus 10 microcoulomb is placed at a distance of 20 centimeters from another identical point charge of plus 10 microcoulomb. A point charge of minus 2 microcoulomb is moved from the point A to the point B as shown in the figure. Calculate the change in potential energy of the system and interpret your answer. That was the question. See, what is the diagram? According to the list given, you see a point charge of plus 10 microcoulomb placed at a distance of 20 centimeters from another identical point charge of 10 plus 10 microcoulomb. So let us consider 2 points. At one of the point, they are having a charge of plus 10 microcoulomb. At the other point also, you are having another charge of plus 10 microcoulomb. And these two are separated by a distance of about 20 centimeters. Okay. Now, a point charge of minus 2 microcoulomb is moved from a point A to be as shown in the figure. So in the figure, they have given the point A somewhere here. So the point A is here. The point A is at a distance of 5 centimeters from one of the charge, so that the remaining distance is considered to be 15 centimeters. At this point A, you are having a charge of minus 2 microcoulomb, which is moved from this point A to point B along the vertical direction through a distance of 5 centimeters given in your book. Calculate the change in potential energy of the system. Change in potential energy is nothing but work done in taking a charge of minus 2 microcoulomb from point A to the point B. So change in potential energy of the system is asked. Interpret your answer. See, let us consider the given data first of all. The charge given Q1 is taken to be what? The charge given Q1 is considered to be, charge Q1 is considered to be equal to plus 10 microcoulomb. And the charge Q2 is considered to be equal to another plus 10 microcoulomb. If you are considering the charge mode, let us consider the charge mode as small q, which is equal to minus 2 microcoulomb. Okay, let us take this distance, 10 charge. So there is one of the charge with A. Let us consider that distance as R1, which is 5 centimeters. And let us consider the remaining distance R2 as 15 centimeters. Okay, with that, we have to calculate what? With this, we have to calculate the change in potential energy, epsilon U, delta of epsilon. See how I can get this. I can write the formula first of all. Change in potential energy is equal to final potential energy minus initial potential energy. Final potential energy minus initial potential energy. This is considered to be the formula required for simplifying or getting the answer. So how to calculate the initial potential energy and how to calculate the final potential energy? That was the concept that we have to deal with. See, initial potential energy. Initially, the charge minus 2 microcoulomb is said to be at the position A. So I am writing like this. What is this initial potential energy? I am considering the initial potential energy as epsilon of I, which is equal to the total potential at A. I am taking it as VA. Total potential at A multiplied with the charge moved, I can able to get the initial potential energy. So what is that total potential at the point A? So the initial potential energy can be calculated using the formula epsilon I is equal to total potential at A into Q. Let us calculate that the total potential at A. See, the total potential at A is taken to be V of A, which is equal to the potential at this point A due to the charge Q1 plus the potential at A due to the charge Q2. So I am writing this as potential at A due to the first charge V1 plus potential at A due to the second charge. I am writing it as V2. Now, in general, we know what is V. We know in general, the potential at a point is given by the formula 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q divided by R. This is general formula. Take this and substitute instead of V1 and V2. So I can write the potential at A, VA is equal to, instead of V1, I can substitute 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 divided by R1 plus 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q2 divided by R2. Here you see Q1 and Q2 are of same value and 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 is are of same value. So I am writing this V of A equal to, taking common, 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 as well as Q2, both are of same value. So I am taking as Q1 multiplied with 1 divided by R1 plus 1 divided by R2. So now you substitute potential at A equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0. I can write 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into what is Q1 and Q2? Q1 or Q2 is 10 microcoulomb. So 10 into 10 power minus 6 multiplied with 1 divided by what is R1? R1 is considered to be 5 centimeter. So it is 5 into 10 power minus 2 plus 1 divided by what is R2? 15 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Here also you can take 10 power minus 2 is common. So potential at A is equal to 9 into 10 power 9 into. See, 10 into 10 power minus 6 can be written as 10 power minus 5 divided by, take this 10 power minus 2 out. So you will be able to get 1 divided by 5 plus 1 divided by 15. Simplifying, potential at A is equal to, here you see 9 into, when you are cancelling these two, here you will be getting 10 power minus 3. So 9 into 10 power 6. Taking LCM, you will be able to get 3 plus 1, you will be getting 4. So simplify, what will be your answer then? The answer is potential VA equal to, on dividing numerator and denominator with 3, we can get 3 divided by dividing this with 3, you will get 5 multiplied with 4 into 10 power 6. So it will be the answer 12 divided by 5 into 10 power 6. So 12 divided by 5 into 10 power 6, then the potential is just divide it out or you keep as it is. It is taken to be volt. This is initial potential. So I have to calculate what is the potential energy. So initial potential energy is, I have given it in this formula, equation 1, or I have given here initial potential energy epsilon I is equal to VA into Q. What is VA? VA is 12 divided by 5 into 10 power 6 multiplied with minus 2 into 10 power minus 6. So this 10 power minus 6, this 10 power 6 will get cancelled. What is the answer then? The resultant epsilon of I is equal to 12 into 2, 24. So minus of 24 divided by 5. So I can get the answer as minus of 4.8 joule is considered to be the initial potential energy. Okay, how to calculate the final potential energy then? In order to calculate the final potential energy, I have to calculate the final potential at this point B, then multiply it with the charge moved. So I will be considering this diagram again. Here I am having Q1, here I am having Q2, here is the point A, here is the point B. If so, I have to calculate this distance as well as this distance. See, we have taken the charge from A to B is 5 centimeter. This distance is also 5 centimeter and this distance is 15 centimeter. Let us take if you want to calculate the potential at B due to Q1, then this distance should be known. Let us consider it as R3. If you want to calculate the potential at B, we should know this distance. Let us calculate that as R4. What is R3? R3 will be equal to root of 5 square plus 5 square. So you will be getting root 50 into 10 power minus 4. On simplifying, so I can write R3 is equal to root 50 into 10 power minus 2, which can be written as 5 root 2 into 10 power minus 2 meters. Similarly, what is R4? R4 I can write square of this distance, so it is 225 plus square of this distance, that is 25. Taking root for 10 power minus 4, you will get 10 power minus 2. So 250, which can be written as 5 into root 10 into 10 power minus 2 meter. So this we are calculating the value of this distance R3 and R4. So what is the total potential at B? VB, I am taking it as total potential at the point B. I can write VB is equal to 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q1 divided by R3 plus 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 Q2 divided by R4. Now to simplify, potential at B equal to, I can write 1 divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q1 or Q2 taken as common. 1 divided by R3 plus 1 divided by R4. What will be the answer then? VB equal to, substitute 9 into 10 to the power of 9 into Q1 10 into 10 power minus 6. 1 divided by, see R3. R3 is, I can write 5 root 2 into 10 power minus 2. 10 power minus 2 available in both of the terms, and so I am taking it out. Plus what is 1 by R4? 1 by R4, then I am writing 1 divided by 5 into root 10. So how to simplify this? Then I can write VB is equal to, simplify, see on simplifying you will be getting, on cancelling these two, you will be getting 10 power minus 5. On cancelling these two, you will be getting 10 power minus 3. So on subtracting, you will be getting 9 into 10 power 6. Also, you can take this 5 outside, divided by 5. Then you get 1 divided by root 2 plus 1 divided by root 10. What is that? 1 by root 2 plus 1 divided by root 10. We can simplify. How you can simplify? You see, I am writing it here. See, VB is equal to 9 divided by 5 into 10 power 6 into 1 by root 2 is 0.707 plus 1 by root 2, root 10 is 0.316. So on simplifying this, you will be getting it as 9 by 5 multiplied with, you add this 7 plus 3, 13. Then you will get 2, 7 plus 3, 10, 1.023 into 10 to the power of 6 volt. This is the potential at the final point V. Now I am calculating what is the potential energy. Okay, I am going to calculate what is the potential energy at the final stage. So I have to calculate what? I have to calculate epsilon B. What is epsilon B? Epsilon B is the final potential energy at the point what? At the point B. Not capital B, it is given as small b. Okay. So epsilon B is equal to potential at the point B multiplied with the charge moved. Potential at point B is 9 divided by 5 into 1.023 into 10 power 6 into minus 2 into 10 power minus 6. So this minus 6, this 6 plus 6 will get cancelled. So simplify, what will be your answer? Epsilon B is equal to, okay, epsilon B is equal to, what will be your answer? Is just to simplify. When you are multiplying, you will be getting minus of 18 divided by 5 into 1.023. So epsilon B is equal to, I have calculated the value, and the value is equal to minus of what? Minus of 3.6828 joule. You just multiply and divide. You will be getting this. So we have calculated what? We have calculated the initial potential energy and the final potential energy. Final potential energy minus of 3.6828. What is the initial potential energy? Initial potential energy we have calculated here. What is that value? Minus of 4.8 joules. Here we have calculated as minus of 4.8 joule. What we are in need of? We are in need of change in potential energy. So you calculate change in potential energy. So I am writing it in another color. Let us calculate the change in potential energy. So change in potential energy is equal to delta of epsilon, which is final potential energy minus initial potential energy. What is final? Minus of 3.6828 minus. What is initial potential energy? Minus of 4.8. So you will be getting minus of 3.6828 plus you will be getting it as 4.8. What is the answer? Then on subtracting, you will be getting the answer as plus 1.1172 joule. This we are taking it as what? This we are taking it as the change in potential energy. Clear? Then the second option is asked. What is the interpretation of this from this answer? See, option B. They have asked about interpretation. So what is that interpretation? See, we can write the answer like this. Since change in potential energy delta epsilon is positive and external work is being done, and external work is being done on what? On the charge of minus 2 coulomb, on the charge small q, which is equal to minus 2 microcoulomb. Okay, is an external work is done on the charge, q equal to minus 2 microcoulomb to move it from where? From the point A to the point B. This is the conclusion or interpretation of the answer that we have got here. So since delta U, change in potential energy, is positive, an external work is being done on the charge minus 2 microcoulomb, in order to move it from the point A to point B. Hope you are clear with this problem. So while writing, you first of all write as it is how I have proceeded in this board. You just copy it out and then again you redo it in your notebook without seeing it. It will be thorough and you can make it thorough. Okay, let us move on to the next problem, problem number 11. See, what is the problem number 11? They have given 5 problems under that concept. There is all the problems are in order to determine the effective capacitance of the circuit diagrams or the combinations given. Let us do one by one. So in all the problems, we have to calculate what? In all the problems, we have to calculate the effective capacitance. Okay, first of all, what is the first subdivision? A. See, the problem given is like this. You are having a capacitor here. Then 2 more capacitors are connected like this as shown in the figure. Okay. Then after connecting the 2, they are having another end here. So in between the 2 ends, let us consider one of the end as P and another end as Q. In between P and Q, we have to determine the effective capacitance. What are the values given? This capacitance is given as C0. This capacitance value is Z0 and this is also C0. So how to simplify this? So in order to simplify this, let us consider first of all step by step. What is the step 1? So here the step 1 is, see, the 2 capacitors, these 2 capacitors are parallel. For simplicity, let us name it out. Let us name this capacitor as C1, this capacitor as C2, and this capacitor as C3. So when you are considering this diagram, the step 1 is C2 and C3 are in parallel. C2 and C3 are in parallel. So what is the value? Cp will be then equal to C2 plus C3. C2 is Z0, C3 is also C0. So Cp is equal to 2C0. Now I am drawing the equivalent diagram for this. So how this diagram will become? You will be having C1 as it is. But instead of C2 and C3, we can replace it with the Cp, a single capacitance called to be Cp. So this end is P, this end is Q. Now you simplify this. Let us consider that as step 2. Step 2 will be giving you effective capacitance because on simplifying this, we will be getting only one value. So from this diagram, okay, from this diagram, I can say C1 and Cp are in series. C1 and Cp are in what? C1 and Cp are in series. If C1 and Cp are in series, then how you can write 1 divided by Cs is equal to 1 divided by C1 plus 1 divided by Cp. So what is the value of C1? 1 by C0 plus what is Cp? 1 divided by 2C0. This is 1 by Cs. So you calculate what is that 1 by Cs, which is equal to, you can take 2C0 as LCM. So you will be getting 2 plus 1. So 1 divided by Cs is equal to 3 divided by 2C0. Taking a reciprocal, you can write Cs is equal to 2 divided by 3 C0 as the answer. 2 divided by 3 C0 as the answer. This is considered to be, this C0 is the effective capacitance. Okay. Hope you should have understood this concept. This is the first subdivision. Let us go for the second subdivision. Okay. Let us go for the second one. What is the second subdivision? See, the second problem that they have given is 4 capacitors connected like this. Here we are having one capacitor, then another capacitor is here, then 2 more capacitors parallel to these like this. And you are having a connection here as well as here. The 2 ends across which we have to get the effectiveness is the vertical 2. One is considered to be P, another one is considered to be Q. See, here also the 4 capacitors are having a common value C0, 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 C0. For our simplicity, let us mark it out as what? Let us mark it out as this one as C1, this one as C2, this one as C3, and this one as C4. So how to calculate? How to calculate means, first of all, you consider C1 and C2. Let us write step 1. What is the step 1? See, in case of step 1, you can see in between these two combination, you are having a line or a connection. So we can say C1 and C2 are in parallel. C1 and C2 are in parallel. And also C3 and C4 are in parallel. And also C3 and C4 are in parallel. See, if I am considering C1 and C2 in parallel, then I can take a parallel combination and I am taking that as CP1, which is equal to, you can add, isn't it? That is C1 plus C2, which is equal to C0 plus C0. I will be able to get the answer as 2C0. Similarly, you go for the next one. What is the next one? C3 and the C4 are in parallel. So when C3 and C4 are in parallel, again, you apply the same concept. You apply the same concept. Instead of CP1, now you put CP2 is equal to, see here, C3 and C4 are in parallel. So I am writing C3 plus C4. C3 and C4 are again equal to C0 plus C0. So you are getting it as 2C0. So how I can simplify this diagram then? This diagram can be simplified. C1 and C2 replaced with a single capacitance called to be CP1. Then C3 and C4 replaced by a single capacitance called to be what? Called to be CP2. So we are having the 2 edges. One we are considering it as P, another one we are considering it as Q. Now, you see the diagram. From the diagram, it is very clear that CP1 and CP2 are in series. So we have to go for step 2. What is step 2? Step 2, we can write CP1 and CP2 are in series. If CP1 and CP2 are in series means we can write 1 by CS is equal to 1 by CP1 plus 1 by CP2. So what will be your value then? That is equal to 1 divided by 2C0 plus 1 divided by 2C0. I can get it out as 2 divided by 2C0, or I will be writing it as 1 by C0. So therefore, effective capacitance is what? Effective capacitance is equal to CS. Taking reciprocal, the effective capacitance answer is equal to C0. This is the final answer, or the effective capacitance across what? Effective capacitance across P and Q. This is the third concept, second concept, or the second subdivision. Let us go for the third subdivision. Hope you should have understood or you are clear. Okay, let us move on to the third one. What is the third subdivision given? You see, the third subdivision given is, you are being given with the 3 capacitors. One of the capacitor is here. Then you are having the another capacitor here. And these two are connected. The 2 ends, the diagonals are being connected through another capacitor. So this value we are given as C0. This is another C0. This is another C0. And you are asked to calculate what? You are asked to calculate the effective capacitance between P and Q. See, simply this diagram can be drawn like this. See, here you are having a connection and here you are having another connection. In between these three, in between these two lines, you are having three capacitors. See, one at this end, another one at this end. See, if you are considering this point or this point or this point, all are same. So we can draw the diagram like this. All these capacitance are C0, 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 and you are asked to calculate the effective capacitance between these 2 points P and Q. So from this you can write, what is the step? See, all the three capacitors are in what? Are in parallel. All the three capacitors are in parallel. If they are considered to be in parallel, then what will happen? See, Cp is the effective capacitance. Cp will be the effective capacitance, which will be equal to sum of the three. C0 plus C0 plus C0. You will be getting the answer as what? You will be getting the answer as Cp is equal to 3C0. So this is considered to be what? This is taken to be or considered to be the final answer for what? Or the effective capacitance for the given combination for the third subdivision. Let us go for the fourth subdivision. What is the fourth subdivision? See, in the fourth subdivision, they are asking for two equivalent capacitances. So two problems are there. So let us take the fourth subdivision. Fourth. See, you are having four junctions. Okay. And they have taken across this and across this. See, these two junctions, they are representing it as R and S. And these two junctions, they are representing P and Q. Across the four junctions, you are having what? Across the four junctions, you are having four capacitors like this. Okay. What is the value of all the four capacitors? They have given this as C1, this is C2, this is C3, and this is C4. What else are asked? You are asked to calculate the equivalent capacitance between, equivalent capacitance between P and Q, and also equivalent capacitance between R and S. So two problems are being asked. So first of all, let us consider across PQ. If I am taking across PQ, see this P and this Q, step 1 is C1 and C3 are in parallel and C2 and C4 are, C1 and C3 are in series and C2 and C4 are in series. So let us write the first step or the step 1. What is the step 1? If you are taking P and Q, across P and Q, then these two, C1 and C3 and C2 and C4. So I am writing C1 and C3 are in series. Similarly, C2 and C4 are in series. So the C1 and C3 in series, let us consider it as CS1. And C2 and C4 in series, let us take it out as CS2. So first of all, for this, I am calculating 1 divided by CS1. So 1 divided by CS1 is 1 by C1 plus 1 divided by C3. Or you can write C1, C3 as LCM you will be getting C1 plus C3. Therefore, CS1 is equal to C1 C3 divided by C1 plus C2. Hope you should have understood this. Then, what is 1 by CS2? 1 by CS2 is C2 and C4 are in series. So I can write 1 by C2 plus 1 divided by C4 is equal to, by taking LCM, C2 into C4, again you can write C2 plus C4. Therefore, taking reciprocal, CS2 equal to C2 into C4 divided by C2 plus C4. So this we are taking, or this we are considering it as CS1 and CS2. Now, what about the next? When you are considering the step 2, see, when I am taking step 2, this CS1, that is C1 and C3, how they will become, they are considered it as CS1. Then these two, again we can consider it as what? Again we can consider it as CS2. These two combinations are in parallel. So here you are having what? Here you are having P and here you are having Q. So what is step 2? Step 2 we can write CS1 and CS2 are in parallel. If CS1 and CS2 are in parallel, then I can calculate the effective capacitance. So effective capacitance is equal to Cp, which is equal to CS1 plus CS2. So what is the effective capacitance Cp then? What is CS1? CS1 is C1 plus C3 divided by C1 C3 plus, what is that? CS2. CS2 I can write, this is C1, okay. Then CS2 I can write C2 C4, sorry. See, CS1 is C1 C3 divided by C1 plus, isn't it? I have written it in the reverse manner. So I will cancel it and I will write it again. So what is CS1? CS1 is C1 into CS1 is, we have to write it out as what? We have to write it out as C1 into C3 divided by C1 plus C3. Okay. So C1 into C3 divided by C1 plus C3 plus, what is CS2? C2 C4 divided by C2 plus C4. Now you have to simplify. How you can simplify? How you can simplify? By taking LCM you simplify. So by taking LCM, how you can simplify? See, therefore Cp will be then equal to, see, taking LCM, C1 plus C3 multiplied with C2 plus C4. So multiply, you will get C1 into C3 multiplied with C2 plus C4 plus C2 into C4 with C1 plus C3. Now simplify by rearranging. When you are multiplying inside the bracket, see, C1 C3 into C2 plus C1 C3 C4 plus C2 C1 C4 plus C2 C4 C3 whole divided by, then you will get C1 plus C3 multiplied with C2 plus C4. This is the final answer that you can able to get. So you can write it in an write this in an order. Simplification matters here. Nothing, no physics. Here it is mathematics. Cp equal to, I can write this as C1, C2, C3 plus. Here I can write C1, C3, C4 plus. Here I can write C1, C2, C4 plus. Here it is C2, C3, C4 whole divided by C1 plus C3 multiplied with C2 plus C4. So this is what we are considering it as what? This is what we are considering it as the final answer or the final effective capacitance across what? Across P and Q. Hope you should have understood this. Now, what is our next concept? We have to calculate the effective capacitance across R and S. So again, let us consider that diagram. So I have to calculate the effective capacitance across RS. So I am taking the diagram. Here you are having R, here you are having S, here you are having P, here you are having Q. So across this you are having C0, sorry, not C0, this is C1, this is C2, and across this given as C3, and across this, okay, across this is given as C4. Okay, across this you will be getting what? You will be getting C4. Now across R and across S, you have to get the resultant. So I am writing step 1, the similar problem as that of the previous one. Here R and S are taken as the points across which we have to calculate the effective capacitance. Then the C1 and C2 are in series, and C3 and C4 are in series, and then these two are in parallel. So in step 1, I am writing C1 and C2 are in series. Let us consider it as CS1. Similarly, on the other side, C3 and C4 are in series. C3 and C4 are in series. Let us consider that CS2. Now you see C1 and C2 in series. So let us calculate 1 divided by CS1. I can get 1 by C1 plus 1 divided by C2. So taking C1, C2 common, you will be getting C1 plus C2. So from this you calculate CS1, taking reciprocal C1, C2 divided by C1 plus C2. Similarly, in C3 and C4, you calculate here 1 divided by CS2. Then I can write 1 by C3 plus 1 divided by C4, which is C3, C4 taken as LCM. You can write C3 plus C4. Therefore, what is the value of CS2? CS2 is C3 into C4 divided by C3 plus C4, taking reciprocal for 1 divided by CS2. Now, let us go for the step 2. What is that step 2? When you are considering the step 2, then you can see, you can draw the diagram. What is the diagram? See, CS1 will be here, and at the bottom you will be having what? You will be having CS2. So it was given like this, not like this. See, we can draw like this. This is taken to be CS1, and here let us consider it as CS2. This is CS1 and this is CS2, and both are being joined here. Here you are having R and here you are having S. Therefore, step 2 is CS1 and CS2 are in parallel. If CS1 and CS2 are in parallel, then I can calculate the effective capacitance. Effective capacitance is equal to Cp. Therefore, Cp equal to CS1 plus CS2. Now, you substitute the values and simplify. Okay, let us substitute. What is the value of CS1? See, Cp is equal to, I can write C1, C2 divided by C1 plus C2 plus, what is here? C3, C4 divided by C3 plus C4. Take an LCM, you will be getting C1 plus C2, then multiplied with C3 plus C4. So in the numerator, C1, C2 into C3 plus C4 plus C3 into C4 multiplied with C1 plus C2. So now you simplify Cp equal to, when you are multiplying this, you will be getting C1, C2, C3 plus. When you are multiplying these two, you will get C1, C2, C4 plus. And you are multiplying C1, C3, C4 plus. Again, when you are multiplying C2, C3, C4 whole divided by C1 plus C2 multiplied with C3 plus C4. This gives you the effective capacitance of the combination across R and S. Hope you should have understood this. Still we are having one more problem and the final one. See, let us take what is the final problem. It is finally the fifth one. See, what is the diagram given? The same diagram as that of the previous one. See, you are having 4 junctions. Across that 4 junctions, you are having 4 capacitors. 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. See, in between also you are having one more capacitor. This end we are considering it as P, and this end you are considering it as Q. Each and every value is considered to be or given to be C0. See, all the values are C0, 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 C0. So for simplicity, let us mark this as C1, this is C2, this is C3, this is C4, and this is C5. So what is the step 1? You see, P and Q. Across P and Q, the effective resistance, effective capacitance is calculated. So step 1 is, we can take like this. The C1 and C2 are, because we are having like that of the previous problem across RS. So we can consider C1 and C2 in series. C1 and C2 in series. So we can write this value as CS1. Let us calculate. Similarly, let us consider C3 and C4 in series. So let us take it out as CS2. What is CS1? I am writing here. See how I can write 1 divided by CS1 is equal to 1 by C0 plus 1 by C0. I can get it out as 2 by C0. Therefore, CS1 is equal to C0 divided by 2. This is the first value, CS1. Similarly, go for CS2. 1 divided by CS2 equal to 1 by C0 plus 1 divided by C0. I can get 2 by C0. Therefore, taking reciprocal, CS2 is equal to C0 divided by 2. This is the second one. Then, what is the effective capacitance, or how you can able to arrange this? See, the C0, C1 and C2, they are considered to form one capacitance called to be CS1. Then C3 and C4 form another effective capacitance called to be CS2. In between, you are having another capacitance which we are calling it out as C5. When you are joining, all that three are in parallel. So this end is P and this end is Q. So what is step 2? I can write step 2 is, what is step 2? I can write step 2 as CS1, C5 and CS2 are in series, are in parallel. CS1, then C5 and CS2 are in parallel. That is the effective capacitance. So therefore, effective capacitance is, therefore, we can write effective capacitance is, effective capacitance equal to, what is the effective capacitance? Parallel combination of all these three. So parallel combination, I can write it out as CP. So CP is equal to, I can write CS1 plus CS2 plus C5. So CS1 is C0 divided by 2 plus CS2 is another C0 by 2 plus C0. So you will get 1 C0, here or C0, we are able to get the answer as 2 C0. So effective capacitance is considered to be Cp, and therefore the effective capacitance Cp is equal to 2 C0. This is the final answer. Hope you should have understood this concept. Any difficulty? If you are having any difficulty, go through it again and again. I have simplified in a simple manner, and I have explained it in a very slow manner. So again and again, you take all these problems and try to work it out, first of all, by seeing it. And again, you try to work it out without seeing it. You will be making it thorough. Okay? Hope you should have understood. And let us meet in the next video with the next set of problems, that we are having still some 3 or 4 more problems. Until then, goodbye and thank you from Ravi Shankar.